The legal battle over allocation from federal government to River State is far from over. And let's tell you that the Court of Appeal in Abuja has overturned the Federal High Court ruling that halted the release of federal allocations to the state. Recall that Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court has based her verdict on allegations of constitutional breaches in the state's budgetary processes, including claims that the 2024 budget was not passed by a validly constituted House of Assembly. But in its judgment, the three-member panel of the Appellate Court, led by Justice Haman Barka, ruled that the subject matter, which centers on the appropriation of a state, ought not to have been entertained by the trial court. Mayor.
Yes, that's part of the things we're discussing. The rivers crisis gave a scenario where the judiciary was disgracing itself as an institution. Courts of congressional jurisdiction were giving the same orders, different orders, counter orders. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sure that the judge that gave the order that the federal government should not release the allocation of River State, I'm sure the judge is aware that she does not have jurisdiction to try that case. But because everybody, when we have cases, powerful people try to shop for a judge that will be amiable and want to see things from their point of view. So I'm happy that the appeal court has overturned that decision. Though, because I believe that there may be crisis, things may not be proper or properly done, but we cannot deny the people of River State good governance because there is a crisis. We discussed it at that time when the order was given, and I said, how do you want the state? For example, if I'm a civil servant in River State, I am not part of the problem. I didn't cause the problem. I was not part of the assembly. I'm a dutiful worker. I go to work and I do what is expected of me. Then I won't be able to collect my salary because somebody gave an order somewhere that they should not give allocation to River State. If they don't give allocation to River State, how do they pay salaries of their workers? How do they bring development to the people of River State? So at that time, I said I don't think that was a good judgment. And I still stand on it. So I'm happy that it has been revoked, though the federal government did not, maybe for whatever reason, maybe for reasons that I'm adducing now, they did not really effect that judgment. The federal government, we have to give kudos to them. They did not really effect that judgment because, like I said, you cannot punish the entire state because of disagreement or you felt things were not properly done. They can still go to court and get an order that, oh, this body was not properly constituted, so it's null and void, it should go to that. That makes a lot of sense. But by saying that, oh, because that body that passed the budget was not properly constituted, which is even debatable, because there's another judgment that said those people, that the other faction, by moving from one party to another, have lost their seats. That's another like that, and it's still in court that is ongoing. So you cannot really say that the other faction was not properly constituted. It's for the court to decide whether they were properly constituted. The people that passed the budget administration. So yes, whatever disagreement that we have, we must look at the larger picture. We must look at the larger good in the state. We cannot deny the people of Rivers good governance. We cannot deny the workers of Rivers their wages because of disagreement or that something was not properly constituted. So I think it was a bad judgment. It was a bad judgment, and I'm happy that the appeal court has set aside.
Before I come to you, Ade, it's important for me to state that, the earlier ruling held that Fubara's action, Governor Fubara's actions, violated Section 91 and 96 of the 1999 Constitution, warned that any continued bypassing of legislative processes constituted an affront of the rule of law. So what's your take on this, Ade? Is this a win for Governor Fubara?
Well, we are still on the journey. We are still walking to the path. We are here to get to the destination. But we are not sure if there will be an appeal, by the other group. And we should also not forget that in the ruling, the three-person panel, there was a dissenting judgment, Justice Adebukola and Joko. So it means that the last has not been heard, of this case. But I think that, in my opinion, this litigation is an extension of the political conflict between two individuals, the former governor and somebody supposed to be his surrogate. So there are two levels, going the legal way to fight this battle. Whether the house is legally constituted, that's a different thing. Then whether the government has the right to seize funds belonging to, the local governments in the River State. For me, I think I align with, my brother that, look, no matter the case, you cannot say that you should starve a child to death. No matter what the offense the father may have committed. That, okay, the best thing is that the children, deny them food. They must not have food to eat. So the fund is not going to the pocket of the governor anyway. These funds partly are meant to pay workers in local government areas. So I don't think our law should be so blind as not to recognize the complexity of these issues, to realize that, look, these funds, they are for public services. People want to enjoy the benefit of health, they want to enjoy the benefit of roads, they want to get their salaries paid. So by withholding their funds, you are, imposing collective punishment on people that actually have. Some of them are even, they have no bearing. It's not their business. They are just workers. The only offense they have committed is that they are workers in local government. So I don't think there is any reason that should justify the seizure of funds that are meant for local government councils. Having said that, the entire state, so it's absurd.
I do apologize. And also, is this judgment saying that the Federal High Court lacks the jurisdiction?
Yes. So it's a technical issue now. It does not mean that.
That's why I said that the judge should know that he doesn't have the jurisdiction.
Absolutely. So I was going to say, we thought we said a judge should know when.
It's an officer of the law, so the judge should know that this case should have been is a state case. You understand? But the federal, because now it's not as if the appeal court said the body, the people that passed it was properly constituted. That's another case. What they are saying that is technically you are not supposed to have jurisdiction over this case. So ab initio, you cannot give an order if you don't have jurisdiction. You understand? Jurisdiction is the source of everything. If you don't have jurisdiction, the order cannot be effective because you are not even supposed to take the case in the first place. That's what we are saying. But we now extended it to say that you cannot deny an entire state resources, because if you deny the resources, what would they use to provide amenities for the people? What would they use to pay their workers and do things? So we can look for other ways. They can still go to court and say that, this assembly is not properly constituted or is illegal. And if they get a judgment to that effect and they go to higher court or get to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court so affirm, then they will be, Wara will not have no choice but to consider that the assembly, they will have to go back to the properly constituted assembly. But we should always look at the larger good when we are in disagreement. Yeah. So, ab initio, everybody should know that there's no way.
But this issue of jurisdiction, I thought the new CJ gave a strong warning against it. Why are we still here?
Yeah, I think the case was before the original case was before the present CJ. And I believe that the present CJ will do a lot of things because Justice Kekereko, since our days in Lagos, is somebody that is well respected. He's a very, very firm judicial officer. And I think. I know sometimes when a woman is in authority, there seems to be more firm in doing things. So I expected her to be able to clean up a lot of things. But the case was instituted before she became the CJ.
All right, Adoye, you have said this looks like a continuation or an extension of the political issue between former Governor Wike and Fubara. Where do we go from here? The people cannot continue to suffer.
Unless, in my opinion, the dispute between the two important figures in River State, unless the issues are resolved, the conflict will begin to find outlets through other means, like going to court. Those ones are just appearances. The real shadow, the real substance is that these two people are yet to resolve their conflict. And I believe if you can resolve that conflict, these other, court cases and all that. The root cause is that two people are not on the same page. So unless the leaders in that state, I believe the president has tried his best. He invited both of them. And he is not feasting on the crisis. If it's another president, he would have declared a state of emergency because we have enough crisis on our hands in Rivers State. So I believe that the stakeholders should intensify more effort to ensure that they can bring the two people on the same table. They have worked together, they have been together for several years. It's going to be very difficult. I think one of the major problems is that supporters on both sides have taken extreme positions, which make it difficult to find a common ground. But I think there should be moderates, in the state that should say, look, for the interest of our people, let's bring these two people together, maybe traditional rulers, political leaders. Something has to be done because it's going to get worse, especially as 2027 approaches. Each will present his own candidate. It's really going to be very tough. So it's better for us to resolve it now, so that we can have, the people of Rivers State can enjoy the benefits of democracy. Since last year, it was one conflict after the other. And I don't think there's any problem that cannot be resolved. That's no problem. If people are really honest, they are genuine. And you cannot resolve a conflict by hoping to take, to have everything, resolved on your side. There must be concessions, painful concessions, if really you put the interest of the people, as top priority.
What do you think are the merits of this judgment?
No. It's not, the only thing is a technical thing. It's just the justice of the appeal court said, in their wisdom, said the Federal High Court do not have the jurisdiction to be able to entertain the case. So it's a technical thing. There is no for and against. They didn't even look at the merits of the case itself. But what they have said is that there is no jurisdiction, and if there is no jurisdiction, there is nothing you can do. And in the terms of Rivers State, the best scenario is for them to settle and to settle the differences between Wike and Fubara. But unfortunately, I believe that they have passed the stage where there can be reconciliation. They passed that stage. Yes. You see, politics is warfare by another name. You understand? And in power, reputation is everything. You must, if you allow anybody to affect your reputation or to impinge on your reputation, then as a man of power, you have lost it. So right now, Wike needs to, because Fubara is a surrogate, Wike needs to show that he's a godfather. His boy has taken him on. He must seek to win that fight. He cannot afford to pull back. Because in politics, when you pull out the gun, you must shoot. If you miss, you are in trouble. The other guy will come after you and destroy you. So that is what is happening. That is what is happening. One of them will remove his gun and missed. And so we pray that some people will be able to influence them, but I think
so that's
I can't see because the elders in Rivers
have all taken sides.
The president has gotten involved. Fubara claimed that thrice he has begged Wike, and Wike refused and all that. So that's why I said they've passed the stage of reconciliation, and it's going to get worse. Like you said, as a move towards 2027, it's going to get worse because even in the party. They are members of the same party in PDP. Even in PDP, Fubara does not have the apparatus of the party. Even at the national level, the chairman and the secretary used to write. They will write letter, official letter to court to say, look, we are not supporting, we are not agreeing with what they are filing it is not done on our.
We saw that yesterday.
Yes, on the basis of our party. So each side has taking extreme stand, and they are going to roll like that in 2027.
Amen. All right, gentlemen.